guys. How's it going?
Wonderful.
Good. Well, this is so much less humiliating than the other one. Which is great. I don't know about this, but it's just...
You look beautiful.
Hi, San Francisco / Oakland / San Jose / Palo Alto. Did anybody travel to get here? Yeah? From where? LA. You know I'm gonna be there in like 2 days, right? Well, thank you for making the trek. Anybody else? Where'd you come from?
I'm from Davis, I came from Singapore.
You came from Singapore?
Yeah.
What? That's incredible.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Oh my God. I love Singapore.
Come back, please.
I would love to. I would love to. It's been a little while. It's been a few years
2
now.
years.
Yeah.
3 years actually now.
Because it was Laneway
Yeah,
Festival.
exactly, yeah.
That festival is like a county fair on wheels, hell on earth. But anybody else? Where'd you come from?
About 2 hours away.
Okay.
No one knows about it.
2 hours though, that's a sizable drive. That's the length of at least 3 podcasts.
Now when you listen to point speed.
Wait, which one? You just listen really fast? Do you actually do that?
Yeah.
Do you consume more information that way? I mean, obviously you would, but is that the point? Okay, so this guy, I'm not sure if you guys can hear, but he listens to all of his podcasts at double speed, just to like ingest information at warp speed.
Wow.
Props. Props to you. Anybody come from Oakland?
Well, Fremont.
Woo! I had a great brunch in Oakland once.
What did you eat?
Oh, you know what though? One of my favorite galleries is in Oakland. This place called Creative Growth. You know Creative Growth?
No, I'm writing it down.
It's a joy. Truly.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Oh, you guys. So I'll just break the ice by telling you a story about my little brother, who's my personal assistant and best friend. You'd be like, what? There's many people before you. But this is tea. It's not sherry, which I know was your first guess. And he makes me a lot of tea, which is really nice. And we were probably like 6 weeks into a tour, and he knows I'm kind of like a germophobie, and he's like, don't worry, I clean out the tea kettle every day, so don't worry. Like, okay, 6 weeks into the tour, I look over, and he is cleaning out the tea kettle, but he's cleaning it out with Clorox bleach. So if I start slurring my speech a little bit, you got little Jackie to blame. Do you guys have any questions or feelings? Yes, you, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about Dorian Gray.
Dorian Gray.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, okay, so I'm gonna direct a modern version of a Picture of Dorian Gray with a female protagonist. And if you guys, has anybody seen that film Elle?
Yes.
I want it.
Isn't it wonderful?
It's amazing.
It is so fucked up.
Yeah.
I love it
No
so
kidding.
much.
So good.
Did you laugh at that film?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It helped that there were other people in the audience who were laughing,
Yeah.
so I didn't feel guilty, let's
Okay.
say. But, I mean, I felt a little guilty, but not quite. So, yeah.
Yeah, at least other people were sort of joining in. I saw it in the theater in New York, and I was the only one laughing.
Oh,
I felt like a
yeah.
monster.
Yeah.
Just such a monster. But anyway, the guy who wrote Elle is writing Dorian Gray, so it's going to be super bananas and really creepy and
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Have you started filming it at all?
No, we're in pre-production. He's working on the script, and then we're kind of digging in. So I imagine next year would be the.
Oh, fantastic. Do you have
Yeah.
any dates you can tell us?
Do I have any dates I can tell you?
Is it like 2 years that it's targeted to?
You know, I think movies take a long time to
Yes.
make. I did a short horror film for. Oh, guys, you are very nice to me. I so appreciate that. Yes, a short horror film that was like Weekend at Bernie's 2 meets Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going to see it tonight.
It's thank you. I mean, so my point being is like making movies takes a very long time, and even doing like that little short film took hours and hours and hours and days and months and planning and editing and all that and shooting. But the scoring it took like 15 minutes. So I was like, oh, finally something I can sort of do. The rest of it was a steep learning curve. Yes, you, sir.
If you get stuck on lyrics or music, you kind of get into a writer's block. What's your technique for getting unblocked other than just time?
Writer's block techniques. If it's music, just go to a different instrument. Like if you're stuck on guitar, go and play the piano, and also play instruments you're not very good at. What instruments do you play?
Well, actually, I write poetry, so if I get stuck, I gotta kind of go to a different place.
Well, but it's similar with I just will open a book. Sometimes do you ever just like open a book and put your finger down on a word? Like maybe
I like it.
But also part of this is going to sound very luxurious, but part of the process, the creative process, sometimes is like taking a nap. It's like hard to explain to I'm sure significant others who are like, what the fuck are you doing? But sometimes like the best thing if you're blocked is to go like take a shower, and then when you're kind of passively engaged in it rather than, going banging your head against a wall, the thing emerges that is the right thing.
Cool. Very cool.
Yes, you in the NYC hat.
Thank you.
I mean, sure. In the fear that
This is yours.
very nice.
This is for your song. I wore that for your song. I would normally wear this out in public in San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
Can you discuss, I just saw Come Swim Saturday night. I was surprised I didn't know it was a part of the collection Sundance. But can you discuss that collaboration with Kristen Stewart and how you came about that? And because the ending song is so beautiful.
Oh, thanks. I don't think I did the ending song. I think wasn't that a man's voice?
But you
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that was 2016. Kristen Stewart was making her like short debut and made this really beautiful and kind of like impressionistic film. And I did the score for it, but she was very like she kind of knew exactly what she wanted, which a lot of the score is me going. And I remember being in like a scoring session, like, the thing up on the picture up on the wall, it going, you know what I'm talking about, like the movie going by and me scoring live to it and her being like, no. But yeah, it was a lot of. That was pretty much the whole score, wasn't it? Oh, and you know what? No, and then there was another part of the score that was, I was trying to plug a bass into a preamp, but it was too hot. The preamp was too hot, so it just made this like horrible noise. And she was like, I like that. I was like, okay, this I can do. Just mistakes and machine distortion and that. But I think the cool part of that is just like when people work in mediums that they're not accustomed to, sometimes they just have like really rad ideas that are left field. I mean, sometimes people have terrible ideas that are left field, but you know, but it's good to have the kind of cross medium thing. Yes, you.
I'll take it. Okay. It's not so much a question, more of a request. With a slight, much needed feminist rock opera.
Okay, the request is, I'm gonna put that in my back pocket to write the great feminist rock opera. That wasn't Tommy? No, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna put that in my back pocket. Yes, you. Oh, one of you, and then we'll just safely negotiate.
How heartbreakingly beautiful your most recent album is. I have to know, what makes you fall in love with somebody?
What makes me fall in love with somebody? I mean,
Yeah, just a little question.
no, that's a good, I mean, money? No, like, I don't know, I think so many people are, I don't know.
You can get back to me.
Okay, I'm gonna think about that. That's a really big question.
Is there anything common in the people you've fallen in love with? Because I heard in one of your interviews.
You guys are getting so personal. What is going on, San Francisco?
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Yes, you in the pink.
But I'm under 18. Can you adopt me?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I would say yes, but you might end up like my houseplants, which is withered and dead. Chained to a pot somewhere. Yes.
First of all, I've got to go to Belgium to see you next time.
It was so sad. It was wonderful. They were so sweet. They were so sweet.
I loved your collaboration with David Byrne.
Thank you.
When I saw you twice on that tour, it was wonderful. Any chance we're going to do something similar to that in the future?
With David or collaboration?
Well, not just with David, but any particular other artist that you want to collaborate with.
Absolutely. I mean, I loved doing everything with David. He's the best. And I learned so much from him. He's like ultimate showman, and one of my favorite things that he does is if he forgets a lyric, he just kind of like mumbles things as if he's had a stroke. But he does it with such like charm and gusto that it's like, yeah, I totally buy that. That's, yeah, it doesn't miss a beat. This wonderful artist named Alex DeCorte, who did the video for New York, the song. Recently, he asked me to be in a very short film that he was making, and I can't say too much about it except that I was holding a one-eyed cat wearing a turtleneck and a wig, and he told me to look very afraid for like 3 minutes. I think we just, with the wig on, I looked like a Chelsea. Yeah. Or Sadie. But yeah, so yes, I love collaborating. I think probably the next big thing will be like film, but who knows? Or in the Alex Duarte one-eyed cat situation. Yes, you, ma'am.
So, first, what kind of tea are you drinking? And second, what do you like to soothe your throat with if you have to play a show and you have a cold, or you have like some bronchial issues?
Are you sick right now?
I am getting over a cold, and I'm hopeless, and so I'm just curious.
I think one thing, my aunt and uncle Chuck and Patti are opening the show, and they're the best. But Patti and I were talking about this, and like, if you're a singer, which is fucking rad. And I think like so many singers, like a lot of times you like go to a voice lesson or whatever, and then it's kind of cool, you learn something about the mechanics of it, but the next thing you know, you're like thinking about your diaphragm or whatever, you know, it's just like very hectic and very like anti-expression in a lot of ways. So not that you asked this question, but my advice to singers would be anything is fine as long as it doesn't hurt. Just whatevs. But anyway, what do? This is Jack's special blend here of it's an organic throat coat and a lemon ginger. This is a combo platter. There are 2 tea bags in here. Wow. Yeah. So luxury. But what do? So I think you sometimes have to be careful not to sing through a cold, because you can if you end up doing things that hurt yourself because you're not feeling it the same. But I will tell you, one time I got a bad something, and I could sing Swing Low Sweet Chariot in the original octave. It was crazy. Like, people did not believe it was me. It's amazing. If I had my phone on me, I'd play you the voice memo. It's legit.
Right on. Thank you.
Yes, you.
In your song Laughing with a Mouth of Blood, which came first, the guitar riff or the vocal melody?
Okay. In the song Laughing with a Mouth of Blood, which came first, the guitar melody or the vocal melody? I think that it was the guitar melody, but I didn't write it on guitar. I wrote it in GarageBand probably, and was like just moving notes around until something sounded musical. And then I learned, and it was like sort of an orchestrally thing, like very, you know, and then I just learned it on guitar. And then I think that I just sang the melody. I think, you know, when you just like are riffing and you just try stuff and see what, and I think that melody was just the one that stuck. It was the one. Yes, very hard to sing. I don't know why I made it that difficult for myself, but yes, you in the ether over there. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Was that the whole question? I love that your question. Would I design cutlery based on my cheekbones? I have to say that's a little Ed Gein. Like, it's a little. I don't know how many of you are familiar with serial killers, but not the question, but the sort of like, I'm gonna make a skin suit. You guys over here. Yeah. Love it. Wonderful. Should you spend the money? No, they are. They're really wonderful, and they can do a lot of things. We're talking about a synth, this like tiny synth called an OP1. They can do a lot of things, and they're really wonderful. But I know it's like, it's hard to, it's like this big, and you're like, this is $900 or whatever it is. Did I ever doubt myself and think that I wasn't good enough? Good question, and a question I will try to unpack. I mean, one answer is like, yeah, of course you have those moments where you're like, oh, what am I doing? You know, if I have like in my mind, a bad show, I'm like, oh, and I sulk, and it's unpleasant for everyone around me for, you know, the next 3 hours until I go to bed. But the other part of it, I would say, is that I think that in order to do anything at all, and then also anything as insane as being like, I'm gonna make music and people are gonna love it and they're gonna come to the shows and it's gonna matter, it's gonna, you know, change the world in some tiny way, like that's an insane thing to think, but it's something that I thought religiously since I was a child. So that is a helpful delusion. Truly, I mean, really, like, so as far as the doubting yourself, I mean, yes, but I don't think the moments of doubt had anything connected to my gender. Thank you, you and you. You guys just sort it out. I don't know. I hate to disappoint you.
What advice do you have for somebody who writes music but doesn't like to perform music?
Who writes music but doesn't like to perform music? Oh, dude, it's a wonderful time for you. It's a wonderful time for you. Songwriters crush it. Like songwriters in the world and the industry or whatever it is, depending on where you want to go, like that's a very viable thing. Also, you could just be like a badass producer. You'd be like, come over to the studio and like have beats on or whatever. but get good at it, because you will. We have so many tools at our disposal. But you can but also team up with people whose voices you like and write for them and write for yourself and just keep going, because it really is, there are a lot of paths, even if you don't like to perform it. I would like to unpack why you don't like to perform it. Do you absolutely not like to perform it, or are you so scared of performing that it is? Oh, my favorite singers are terrible singers. My favorite guitar players are you know what I mean? Like, yeah, totally. I was listening to the Slits yesterday. That shit is awesome.
First of all, I love your outfit.
Oh, thank you.
Second of all, it's kind of vague, but like, what I love about your whole discography and everything is that like each album, you go through different eras. You're constantly evolving. Basically, like, what influences you to do that? Where do you see yourself going next?
I think so. Where do I see myself going next after? Oh boy. After this one. I mean, I guess the honest answer is like I have no idea. But I think I do think though what I've tried to do and what's been the most rewarding for me over the years of making music is just getting like closer and closer and deeper to the heart. And so I would want to continue going in that direction. As far as the aesthetic of it, I have no idea. But usually whatever you do next is some kind of reaction to what you did before. So I'll dress in a nun costume probably. All turtlenecks all the time. Yes, you in the red beret.
Thank you for doing this.
My pleasure.
When you're writing a song or deciding what songs to include on a record and kind of just in the process, what are the things that matter most?
When I'm you're basically talking about Kill Your Darlings, aren't you?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Right, like what are how do you choose, well, how do I make a song? What
How do you choose, like, how do you make an album? How do you choose, like, okay, it's gonna be this song and not this song, and
yeah, and what about the what are the components that you look for to kind of whittle it down?
totally. Well, I think, especially with this last record, I had a sense of, well, I mean, one, as the creative process is, I'm sure you're an artist, I'm sure everyone in this room is an artist of some kind, like, the creative process is a mysterious one, and you start at A and you end at a letter that hasn't been invented, you know, like, which is the exciting part about it. So it kind of, there's a certain amount of things that just like come into focus by etching and chipping and all that stuff. But like on this record, this last one, there's a track that I did with Jack Antonoff, and I had Jenny Beth from Savage's like guest on it. And I was in Germany and I saw this magazine that said Sexclusive, with no E. It was just like, oh, I love the way that word looks. And I was like playing with kind of word mashups and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, I really want to put a song on this called Sexclusive. Like I could picture it in my mind. And we did the track and it was totally cool. And it's basically just like this weird D light kind of like weird. It's bonks, but it's cool. And it's Jenny Betts just being like, Sexclusive. Sexclusive. Like I didn't even send her the track. I was like, can you just say this in a lot of different ways at 120 BPM? But anyway, it was a really cool song, but when you zoomed out, it was like, does this, you know, in the sort of like periodic table of this vision, like, does this need this? Like, and the answer, even though it was cool, it was like, nah, we have a thing that does that thing, but, you know, with a little bit more, just a little bit better, you know? It's definitely a thing I want people to hear eventually, but I don't know, it's a kind of a nebulous question or nebulous answer, but also I think the best thing to do is, as an artist, is to be able to know when it's right, because you can work on something forever. And there's no, I truly believe there's no wasted effort in if you're like writing all the time and you have all these pieces and whatever, and you don't end up using them, that's fine. You're gonna use it in 3 months down the line. That's gonna be the perfect bridge for whatever. So I don't think there's any wasted effort in that regard, but I totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, I'm just grandstanding up here on the, but I hope that was helpful. Yes, you.
Do you mostly play in standard tunings, or do you play in open tunings as well when you play live?
My guitar tunings are all over the place.
Do you have a favorite?
Well, I tune my guitar down a whole step, just in general, because it's just easier, better for my voice. But I think, okay, I have a couple thoughts on tuning. One was I played in this you guys know Glenn Branca? He's like a New York post-punk kind of downtown dude, and he got 100 guitar players together, electric guitar players, to do this thing, and like everybody was in essentially open tunings, like glam tuning, where it's all the same note but in different octaves, and it would be like, these people have D's and these people have A's, and and it was this crazy like way of notating it for when you're supposed to play, and my point being that was rad. That's my only point there. And then I've been playing with tunings for a long time. I feel like it's a great way to trick your fingers into being cooler, like to having more ideas, you know, because you can be like, I just know this one pentatonic scale, but all of a sudden it sounds totally, you know, different and cool. Yeah. Yes, you.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
I just wanted to say that you said something recently about how your music is kind of like a Rorschach test in a way of like people see like what they want from it and hear what they want. And I just wanted to say I saw you at Outside Lands, and a few months after I came out as trans, and like in a world like this, your music, especially I got Severed Cross Fingers.
Oh my God!
And Prince Johnny, like really, outside of being the queer community, what people hear from your music, you have like this mysterious into you, and it's really beautiful that it speaks to people in really, really beautiful ways. I just want to say thank you so much.
Oh, that's wonderful. And congrats.
And it turned out kind of rad too.
Yeah, it's fucking rad.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
That is so rad.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Snitches get stitches, Jack.
Awesome. So great.
One more, yes, you. Hi.
So, I find myself dancing to Paris is Burning all the time because it's such an epic song, and it's just amazing. Can you just feed my ego about it and just like tell you everything about that song? So when I dance to it next time, I'm just gonna be like, I got an exclusive.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, Paris is Burning. Okay. So you even you're dancing just to be so groggy. Yeah, that song. Okay, this is like bummer. That song. I remember writing for the victims of Katrina. This is so stupid. I'm so stupid. I wrote that about like Katrina, like Hurricane Katrina.
Wow, really?
I never said that.
Yeah.
And I hope that doesn't change. But keep dancing to it.
Katrina was terrible, you know? And I don't know, there's the movie Paris is Burning.
Yeah, which is so wonderful. I wish I'd written about that. Okay, one more and then I've got to go get in a bunny suit. Yes, you.
Okay, this might be an odd one to end on, but do you ever sleep with your fans?
You just asked me if I ever sleep with my fans. You know what? I will say a couple things on this. I think that
I'm married. I just.
Whoa, you guys. Whoa.
Now it's inflated by
No, I will say a couple of things on this matter. I think that it's easier if you are a dude to sleep with fans, just like anatomically. I just feel like that's an easier, could be like an easier exchange. But I will say that there's something so, that kind of power dynamic in exchange, I would feel like the most villainous, horrible, like exploitive person to do that. I'm really sorry. I would feel like a Mondo creep.
Yeah. Sounds like a song.
So I'm really sorry that I should be like, yeah, sometimes. Yeah, get on the tour bus. I'm in bed at 11 p.m., so I don't. There's no time for that. Well, on that note, guys, thank you very much for coming.